Welcome to another brand new episode of Undisputed Nerds. This is the podcast where we like to talk about comic book movies, TV shows, and everything else in this space. I'm one of your hosts, Zane Show. As always, I'm joined by my fantastic co-host. I've already broken him. Look at him, the gentlemanly gamer.
Hello, everyone in Radio Land. Did that take you by surprise that you were one of the hosts? You suddenly realised halfway through that intro that
Do you know
like,
what?
I'm one of your hosts. I am. Yes, it's me. It's Zane.
Yeah, it's me. No, I think what's surprising me is like I don't have a mic to fiddle. It's like above my screen. So because
mate,
I watched our last episode and I constantly move the mic around with me.
Don't tell everyone; they'll all notice. Yes, yeah, you are a bit of a mic twitcher.
Yeah. So now I don't know what to do with my hands. So I thought
control them, Zane. Control your
hands.
Yeah, it's not the first time I've said that to you, but control your hands, Zane. All right, honestly, Christ,
wow,
far too touchy. How are you, Squire? How's your work been? How's your week been?
Yeah, it's been good, thank you. Have you seen that new film Day Shift starring Jamie Foxx?
I haven't yet. I've been told things about it. It's all vampire-y, isn't it? It's all kinds of vampire-y.
Yeah.
I was told I should watch it. That's what I was told. I don't know whether that's a good or a bad thing, but I was told I should watch it.
It's something special.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Is it something special in the same level as like Bright is something special? The Will Smith elf like police procedural.
What a callback! I would probably say, have you ever seen that Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter? Like,
maybe I saw that. I can't remember. If I did, that goes to show how much I thought of it. It's like instantly forgettable.
Yeah.
Is it? So it's okay. So you wouldn't call it Undisputed then, basically, is what you're saying?
No, I wouldn't.
Right. Okay. Cool. Did you see the sad news today? I'm sorry, I don't want to start the podcast on a bit of a downer, but you see the sad news about Cineworld?
My wife was telling me about it, that they're bankrupt.
Yeah, they're going into bankruptcy. It's really sad. I'm really gutted about it. So I love Cineworld, and I've been trying to go to the cinema. Even during the pandemic, I still was going to the cinema to kind of see stuff. But I guess like over the period of those 2 years, they amassed $4 billion in debt.
Wow.
And they've been trying to recoup their losses ever since, and they just can't do it. So I'm hoping they go into administration and the company can be saved. Because the unlimited card that they do, for those of you who are not listening from the UK, Cineworld is the second largest cinema chain that's in England. They are me and Zane's local cinema. As far as mainstream's concerned, we have like a specialist cinema over here that's like all kind of posh and that kind of thing. But Cineworld's the one that us regulars go to,
commoners,
us common folk. They do this amazing thing where it's like you pay. It's sort of like a subscription fee, but basically you pay every month, and then you can see as many films as you want for free. Obviously, it's not technically for free because you're paying every month, but the subscription far outweighs the cost of going to the cinema for a ticket, like getting a standard ticket. If you see 2 movies in a month, you've already recouped all of your cash, like, absolutely, and more. So it is a really good system, and I'm really sad about it. Because going to the cinema is one of my favorite things to do. Like, it's a little slice of heaven for me to just be in a dark room for however long. That sounds weird.
With a bunch of strangers.
With a bunch of strangers. Yeah, exactly. I can't think of any other time that might happen that I might get as much of a pleasurable experience from it. But, maybe I'll just have to go exploring. But regardless, I'm really sad that they're shutting down. So, thank you, Cineworld, for being awesome. And also, I really hope you stay going, and I hope you get saved, because there's been so many companies that have gone into administration and, have been saved and come back kind of not quite the same. And what's interesting is this is a cinema model to do that, because normally it's retail. It's normally retail that goes bottoms up and then has to be saved for administration. So I don't know how this is going to work, and I don't know if it can be saved. And there's an entire complex that's in my hometown where I live that's built around that cinema. So, like,
yeah,
I don't know what they're going to do if that goes, but
yeah,
it's just
it's
sad.
a shame. Yeah, I really hope like they do get saved. Especially, I saw an anime movie this week.
Yeah.
And they're starting to roll out a lot more anime-based movies. So yeah, I kind of hope that they do get saved.
And they do like stage stuff there as well. Like so a lot of the Royal Shakespeare Company, or I can't remember what they've got an agreement with various theatres around the UK, and they film, like they live stream the plays that are going on in the cinema,
and concerts as well.
And concerts, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember taking this is a horrible thing to admit on stream. I took my mum to see Take That live for her birthday.
Oh, nice.
And I enjoyed it more than I probably should have. Sexy Gary Barlow. So yeah, anyway, he's so dreamy.
But
Gary Barlow.
It's a shame, and maybe Venom and Morbius wasn't the cinema saving movies as Sony thought they were. Is that too soon?
How dare you? How dare you accuse those two masterpieces of contributing to its downfall? It's just weird. It's just, I mean, I'm not surprised, but I am surprised at the same time, because like I don't think it's the fact that we haven't had big movies. I think it's the fact that streaming has undercut it a lot.
Yeah.
I mean,
Massively.
Disney Plus is just like, it's, every Marvel film is on Disney Plus basically 3 weeks after it's released. So, why go watch it?
On Wednesday, I'm kind of exposing when we're recording this, but someone told me on Wednesday Thor Ragnarok is like coming in like days.
Love and Thunder.
Yeah. Oh, I said Ragnarok, didn't I?
You did, yeah. It's okay. Yeah. Yes, Love and Thunder is coming in day. And also, big MCU stuff is now on TV as well, which we're going to talk about today. Beautiful segue. Sad yet beautiful segue into She-Hulk. But yeah, is there that necessity to go to the cinema to see big Marvel stuff now? We've had Moon Knight, we've had Miss Marvel. It's all been TV release. So yeah, it's very sad. I hope they get saved, and if not, then best wishes to all the staff who unfortunately will probably be losing their jobs, because Cineworld is 751 sites in the UK. So yeah, that's a lot of cinemas and a lot of people who are employed by them. So let's hope that they do get saved and people can keep their jobs. And on that note, let's go into something happier. What are we talking about this week, Zane?
This week we are going to talk about She-Hulk, episode 1 more specifically. Yes. And we'll give our thoughts, our reactions, our review of what we thought of episode 1.
Yes, lawyer smash. But before we do that, Zane.
Yes.
Zane, did you know that I love to surf?
No, I didn't.
I know, it's amazing. You'd never believe it looking at me, but I am an avid surfer. Not of the sea, though. Oh, no. I am a surfer of the World Wide Web, my friend. And let me tell you something. When I go surfing, I definitely need some protection. Not the usual kind of wetsuit, though. I need some VPN. Do you know what VPN means, Zane?
I don't. What's a VPN?
Well, it would be a virtual private network. And let me tell you, we here at Undisputed Nerds are being sponsored this week. And a big thank you to the episode sponsor, Surfshark VPN. You can get Surfshark VPN 83% off and 3 months free, Zane, if you go to surfshark.deals/Undisputed Nerds and enter in the promo code Undisputed Nerds. Surfshark VPN lets you trick your device into thinking it's in another country, which opens up a whole world of content libraries, Zane. So think about it this way. If you're in the UK, you can watch US Netflix, which has a far bigger selection of movies. You can get all of your Batfleck content that I know you love, Zane. I know you're looking for. If you're outside of the UK as well, you can watch amazing apps like BBC iPlayer. And if you're in the US, you can finally get access back to the old WWE network with its far superior functionality. We've been using, me and Zane have been using Surfshark here at Undisputed Nerds for a while. It is our official VPN, and it doesn't just let us gain access to all the comic book movies, but it also secures our networks by encrypting internet traffic, keeping our location and download history private, thankfully, so that people can't see me purchasing wetsuits. My favorite feature on the Surfshark, it knows when my phone leaves a trusted connection, like my home or work internet, and it immediately turns on to prevent interference. It's like having, I don't know, Batfleck's Justice League for your phone, Zane.
I know exactly what you mean.
And I know you've got a lot of Batfleck on your phone right now. So sign up to Surfshark today by using our link in the video description below, surfshark.deals/Undisputed Nerds, where you'll get, again, 83% off and your first 3 months free if you use the code Undisputed Nerds. We really appreciate if you just at least check them out, as they're a great company and we love working with them. Support Undisputed Nerds and support your internet privacy with Surfshark. Listen. It's been a while. Mm-hmm. He's been quiet.
Has he?
But finally, but finally, it's time again, Zane, to say what is all the rage with Nicolas Cage.
Oh, here it comes.
What do you say we cut the chit-chat a-hole?
Oh, he's angry this week. He's angry.
Someone let him out of the cage. Wow.
Oh, honestly, I'll tell you, it's because we haven't talked about him for a long time. That's what it is. He's just furious. He's clearly friend of the show, Nick Cage.
Absolutely.
He's clearly. So for those of you who don't know what this is, we do have a regularly recurring segment. Well, we did have a regularly recurring segment, which was What's All the Rage with Nicolas Cage, where we looked into the bizarre and quirky life of Nicolas Cage and also gave some updates on what Cage is doing. And, well, frankly, we rinsed it dry. We fleeced it dry, didn't we, Zane?
Yeah.
But good news, there's actually some news. There's actually some Nicolas Cage news this week, Zane, that we could bring it back. So, I'm gonna strap you in for this one. Brace yourself.
Okay. Yeah.
Say the headline and then we'll react to it, okay?
Okay.
Jerry Bruckheimer says the National Treasure 3 script is really good and they're sending it to Nicolas Cage.
Hey! Yes!
He's back, baby. He's back for more treasure hunting adventures underneath Washington, underneath Paris. Who's to say where he'll be this time? What do you think he's going after? And are you excited to see National Treasure 3?
Yes, I'm excited to see National Treasure 3. Oh, what do you think they'll call it? Do you think they'll call it like Nash 3? Or
Yeah. Nat 3, National Treasure 3. This time it's a tie-in with the TV show.
Treasure Ahoy.
Yeah. National Treasure 3, Treasure Island.
Oh.
Nick Cage becomes a pirate for it.
Oh, what if they're both Disney properties? They're both Bruckheimer pictures.
Predator.
This is a crossover. No, crossover with Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah. It's what we all want to see.
The Aztec Gold.
I've got it, Zane. It's Nick Cage. He finds this quirky pyramid out in the middle of nowhere. He goes inside. He opens up this big, dark, dank cavern. Heads inside. It's a xenomorph egg. Aliens, face hugger. He's gone.
For a second, I thought you said Moon Knight is waiting for him.
Moon Knight, yeah, that'd be great, wouldn't it? Oh God, imagine if he had the spirit of Khonshu inside him. That would be unbelievable. That would be unbelievable. Or he opens it up and Mephisto's there ready to give him the spirit of vengeance and he becomes Johnny Blaze again.
Here we go. That's how you book it.
I mean, we're pretty much assuming he's going to take it. He hasn't actually accepted the offer yet, but let's face it, it's Nicolas Cage. He's in every film. So yeah, Nick Cage is going to be getting the National Treasure 3 script very soon. And let's face it, guys.
Sorry, could this be his first trilogy?
I think it will be. I think it will be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't think of any other films that he's done 3 of, like, of a franchise. Oh my god. National Treasure 3, Cage's trilogy.
Stars are aligned.
Yeah, that would be great. It's like, oh man. Yeah, it's a trilogy. Yeah, it's his trilogy, and then it's all about the pyramids, the 3 points.
Orion's belt. There you go.
The Illuminati eye. Yes. This is, oh my god. I mean, Jerry, just get in contact with us. We'll write it for you.
Yeah.
You know, even though it's written already and it's gone to Nick Cage, we'll rewrite it. It's fine.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna adjust my camera a little bit. Yeah, it's yeah, so there you go. It's exciting times, isn't it, Zane? It's coming. National Treasure 3 with Nicolas Cage. Again, I'm assuming it's going to tie in with the TV show that they're making, isn't it? Because he's not going to be in the TV show.
Yeah, that would make sense. Like, if it sets it up in some way, or vice versa, if the TV show sets up the third movie.
Yeah, so there you go. Nicolas Cage is crawling out of the woodwork again, guys, to give us more news. We may have more updates on this next week. Watch this space. If not, we're definitely going to be having some... I've still got a Patrick Stewart news loaded up that we're going to use at some point.
I can't wait for that one.
So don't worry, that one is definitely coming. But yeah. Anyway, shall we move on to our main event, Zany Baby?
Yeah, let's move on. She's, in the famous words of Tom Jones, she's a lady. Whoa, whoa, whoa,
whoa.
She's a lady.
And the lady is yours?
I didn't want to say that. I was like, oh, it's a bit of a... It's Nicky line to say out loud.
Did you see him dig himself into a really, really weirdly sexist hole there, guys? That was impressive. That was very impressive. Well done, Zane. Well done. Yes, She-Hulk. It's been coming for a while. Let me get some facts and figures up for us for the opening episode. So, Zane, do you want to give us an idea of what the story is?
The story is... So it begins in such a humble way.
Why are you saying it like you're... I love that you're saying it like you're a historian. The story begins with humble beginnings.
We follow Jennifer.
Tiniest ant living his life when suddenly he's stepped on by a Hulk. A giant Hulk, if you will. Go on, sorry.
So... This is the story of Jennifer Walters.
Yes.
So Jennifer is the cousin of Bruce Banner, aka the Hulk, and shenanigans take place where Jennifer ends up becoming a Hulk of her own. Unlike the rage monster that we know to love of aka Bruce Banner, Jennifer has this whole handle on her hulking and tries to balance that with her work career life as a lawyer, and in so many ways a lot of comedy and a lot of fun in between.
Yes, indeed. So I mean, yeah, Zane's covered it. So this first episode it really does, it focuses on her as a lawyer, and then also her journey to the realization of Hulk life. And yeah, it's kind of, it's quite quirky. I think is the safest way of saying it. It's quite quirky. The show very heavily features obviously Tatiana Maslany as Jennifer Walters. It also has Mark Ruffalo in it prominently. He's in it a lot. We see Jamila Jamil right at the end as Titania. She turns up. It's an interesting show. We'll do non-spoilers and then we'll go into spoilers, I guess. I think there's a lot of really cool, like her. I felt like she's much more. This is going to sound really weird. I felt like she's much more believable as the human version of Jennifer Walters than the She-Hulk version. Like the She-Hulk version kind of irritated me. And I don't know whether it's partly because of the CGI involved with it, because the CGI involved with it, I felt like the Hulk CGI.
Yeah,
I don't think it's any spoilers to say that the Hulk is in this, by the way, guys, because it's all over the trailers. But the Hulk CGI is unbelievable. Like, it's so good. Like, Ruffalo's Hulk looks incredible, and you could tell they've spent 10 plus years working on it. Like, you know what I mean? They've got it like fine tuned to where like you can see his 5 o'clock shadow on the CGI, and it looks
texture
realistic
and everything.
Yeah, it just looks amazing. She-Hulk, it still looked weird to me. Like, the face is much better, like the facial expressions, and it captures the vibe of Tatiana Maslany very well. It's the arms and the legs. She feels like Mr. Fantastic. It's like her arms.
There's a rubber.
It's like that. Like, it's all like, I'm like, what's going on? For those of you who can't see, who are listening, I just flailed my arms around like a weirdo. Yeah, the arms don't look right to me. The arms and legs look really like bendy, weird Stretch Armstrong arms and legs. I didn't like it, especially in like the jumping scenes and stuff like that. So, but I'll be interested to see what kind of vibe they're going with the rest of the series, because it felt like they were really trying to lean into the idea that she is just a lawyer, or not just a lawyer, but like she wants to just be a lawyer. And then she's going to be kind of, ripped between these two worlds. But I don't know how that's going to work. Like, I'm not seeing it yet. I'm not seeing how it's going to kind of like all come together. It felt very weird. Like with the Ms. Marvel episodes, the first episode I thought was fantastic, and I was like immediately like, I'm in on this all the way. This is great. This one, I was very like, I turned into Robert De Niro face. I was like, it's okay. It's okay. And I wasn't getting that kind of like, oh yes, this is great. This is Marvel. I don't know if you've had the same vibe as me, or if you felt the same way about the old bendy legs. What do you think?
So shall I talk about the bad things or good things? What do you want to hear first?
Go start at the start. Go with the bad things first, and then
okay. So bad things. I know what you mean about the visuals. There is like it almost looks kind of rubbery to me in terms of, like you said, her arms and legs. Especially there's this sequence where they're doing like yoga, and she spins around.
Yes, that's the exact. Yeah, exactly.
And I don't know if it's kind of like how the light is supposed to catch the green or whatever. It just kind of, but I can live with it. I've seen worse movies and TV shows with, I've watched The Flash for numerous years. Like, it's fine.
But I will say The Flash is charmingly rubbish in that regard. This felt like they were trying to make it serious, but it just didn't quite come out that way. Apologies for interrupting.
No problem at all. The other thing I felt was quite odd is the pacing of it. Felt very kind of fast paced. Like, here's the accident. I shouldn't have said that, but here's when it takes place. Now we're training, and then at the end, lawyer stuff. Oh no, the world knows stuff.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. It was very mispaced. I think it's very. It felt like they had. I think they intended. I really seriously think they intended this to be a movie. I think they were going to try and do a Hulk movie, but have it called She-Hulk, so that they could get away with having it be a Hulk movie, because obviously they still don't have the rights from Paramount to have a Hulk movie, and it feels like they condensed the story super compact, quick into TV. And they didn't want to they didn't want to kind of make it into a big budget movie. They wanted to make it into a big budget TV show for some reason. I know exactly what you mean with the pacing.
Yeah, I read a rumor on Twitter that apparently the opening sequence, where we learn about Jennifer and stuff, that wasn't originally there. It was only after test screenings that the audience were walking away with, like, I still don't know who Jennifer is. I don't know how she became a She-Hulk. You know what I mean? So I read a rumor that that's why it's there, and that's why it's kind of punchy with the explanation,
Right. Okay.
instead of it being a flashback later down the line.
Yeah.
So,
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. I think let's undisputed disputed, and then we'll get into spoilers a little bit with this. So it is an extremely borderline undisputed for me.
okay. I'm going to say it's undisputed for me, but I think it's because of the comedy.
Yes, I'll tell you why it's undisputed for me, because Mark Ruffalo's in it, and I could watch Mark Ruffalo as the Hulk in anything because he's fantastic. So yeah, okay, let's get into spoilers then. Maybe actually before I get into spoilers, let's just have a quick chat about the reviews of this. So Rotten Tomatoes. Would you like to know what the average tomato meter, which is the aggregate score of all the reviews, currently sits at for She-Hulk Attorney at Law?
I'm going to have a guess and say 74%.
The reviews are an average of 86%.
Okay, wow.
It's one of the highest rated Marvel shows that there is. It's very high. Interestingly, though, guess what the average audience score is compared to that?
Oh, I'm going to say audience 74.
66 audience.
Oh, wow.
So 86 critics reviews, 66 audience reviews. I just have a quick look at how many that actually is. If I could see. That's really helpful, Rotten Tomatoes. That's really helpful. It says see score details, and then it gives me a graph which just gives me the same numbers I was just looking at without the details, for God's sake. Right, I'll try and find that before the end of the thing. Yeah, let's get into spoilers then. So so her origin's different straight from the get-go. So in the comic books, the reason why she becomes She-Hulk is that she gets in a horrible accident, and the only person who can give her a blood transfusion is her cousin Bruce. So she has a full blood transfusion, and then that is what gives her the gamma blood that she then becomes She-Hulk with. In the show, for some reason, she's meeting up with Bruce Banner, who she hasn't spoken to for years, and they're going on a quirky girlfriend weekend away together. And then they get an alien spaceship just turns up out of nowhere, presumably after the Hulk. It's a Zakarian one, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
So that turns up out of nowhere. They have a car crash. She gets a minuscule amount of Bruce Banner's blood. I'm talking the tiniest
droplets
drop of blood into one of her cuts, and that turns her into a She-Hulk. My question to you, Zane, is bearing in mind the amount of fights the Hulk has had over the years with different people, where presumably there's been a lot of bloodshed, God knows what else. How has he not murdered people with gamma poisoning, or like turned about 50 million people into the Hulk by now?
We did get an explanation later down the line, didn't we? Of like, you're a unique blood type like me, and like science.
It really annoys me that this show has the same critic score as Sandman.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wow.
The aggregate scores for this are the same as the Sandman, and I'm like, no. That's not right.
On that topic, actually, I don't know if you saw, but they've released an extra episode of Sandman.
2 episodes, an extra 2 episodes.
Is it 2 episodes?
Yeah, it's 2 episodes. Yeah, yes, I did see that. On Rotten Tomatoes, it is 525 viewer reviews against 338 critics reviews that reaches that score. So it's pretty even. So yeah, that's not great.
Oh wow!
But yeah, I can't believe that's got the same as. That is ridiculous. It's got the same score as. I'm genuinely quite annoyed by that. Sorry, that's genuinely quite annoyed me.
I mean, if it makes you feel better, on Internet Movie Database, it's a 5.8 out of 10.
Yeah, that's where I said it's very boring and Undisputed. I was not a huge fan of the show. Anyway, sorry, we were in spoilers. So yeah, so she becomes She-Hulk, and then the whole rest of the episode is it's almost exposition for what happened to the Hulk, really, between Infinity War and Endgame. Because she basically goes to his Mexican retreat that he built with Tony Stark, where Bruce is almost a little bit in love with Tony. It seems like there's a weird undertone of homoeroticism between the two of them, where he's etched their initials into the bench. Did you notice that?
I did notice that. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Are they gonna? I'm wondering if they might make Bruce Banner gay in this, like if they might turn it, or bisexual, and he's got a secret crush on Tony, because we've not heard anything about Betty. At all. There's been nothing from her since Ed Norton's Incredible Hulk.
I think it's one of those sort of missed opportunities in the sense of they had such good on-screen chemistry when it came to the Avengers, so much so that Mark Ruffalo makes a cameo at the end of Iron Man 3.
Yes.
And it was kind of like, if only we got Science Bros or whatever, and then to find out Science Bros happened, but off screen,
Well, also they made Ultron together in this.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
We had a nice little. So yeah, I just think it's very interesting. I mean, they are doing a very clear wink, nod to how much he loved Tony. So I don't know. It was strange, but basically, the whole time that he was during Infinity War and Endgame, he was spending his time basically coming to terms with who he is and merging his personalities together and becoming
Can we
Hulk.
talk about the device that that made him not Hulk out and allowed him to heal his arm?
Yeah, that's weird, isn't it?
That is really weird.
Yeah. I don't know whether... So I wonder if they're going to explain it with a... I wonder if they're going to explain it away as he needs to recharge gamma. He has to be outside of Hulk form in order to recharge the gamma. But even then, that doesn't make sense because he was Hulk for 2 years on Sakaar.
Yeah.
In gladiatorial battles where he presumably got hurt.
Yeah.
The only thing I can think of is it's the Infinity Stones did nearly kill the Hulk. He was almost dead.
Yeah, sure.
And I guess maybe, I don't know, maybe it did drain his gamma completely using that. And so staying in the Hulk form was dangerous to his health because it could have killed him, the strain on his body or something. I don't know. And they don't properly explain it. All we find out is that Jen Walter's blood gives him the clue that he needed to be able to cure himself so he doesn't need to use the sling anymore and he can be Smart Hulk again.
Yeah.
Smart Hulk he's now coined Smart Hulk, which is something he's called in the comics as well. So he's not Professor Hulk like a lot of people have been alluding to. He's actually officially called Smart Hulk now. The question I have for you is, does Bruce Banner even still exist anymore?
Oh,
because the whole thing about this was he spent years merging his two selves. For those readers of the comics, I'm reading through the Immortal Hulk at the moment, and Bruce does not have one fixed personality in his head. He has multiple Hulks. He has multiple personalities. There is there's Joe Fixit, which is when he goes grey and becomes a nightclub bouncer. There is Savage Hulk. There is Childlike Hulk. Maestro is something else entirely. Maestro's
okay.
That is where I was. You cut me off at the pass because I was that's where I was theorizing this may be where it's going. I'm wondering because I think Smart Hulk basically becomes Maestro in the future.
Yeah.
And I wonder if he's going to be a big bad. Like, I wonder if we're going, like, maybe in Secret Wars we get a Maestro
Ooh.
situation. That is what I'm theorizing. Because if he's not going to go back to Banner anymore, he's just going to be Hulk. That is Maestro. Maestro is,
Yeah.
I mean, he, it's interesting. There's a lot of it answered questions. It also raised a lot of questions when it comes to kind of his abilities and what the Hulk is. Because he's the world breaker in the comics. He has the power to destroy whole worlds if he wants to. And yeah, it's there's a lot of Hulk lore. A lot of people were theorizing that World War Hulk might happen soon as well.
I did see that. Yeah, one thing that I do see quite a lot of is how fans are clamoring for the old sort of reckless Hulk, like from the Edward Norton movie. Like, a lot of people do want that version of, insanely strong Hulk, not this like
Really,
watered down comedy type.
I want insanely strong Hulk, but I don't want stupid Hulk. I want Sicarian's Hulk. I want coming back from Planet Hulk. I want the one that is so angry at the world that he has like nothing but focused rage, and the more angry he gets, the more powerful he gets. Like, if they do World War Hulk, the thing with World War Hulk, right, is Civil War was okay because we'd never seen anything like that at the time, as far as superheroes fighting each other kind of thing. So it was like it was okay because we hadn't seen that, and Ant-Man became big, and it was all like exciting on screen, and then Endgame took it up a notch. As well as Infinity War. Like, the fights in Infinity War are still some of the most amazing fights I've seen on screen.
Absolutely, yeah.
World War Hulk, you need to have huge, like, you need to have the Hulk mince through most of the heroes in the MCU. If you want to do it properly, then you need to do that. And I don't know if they're willing to do that, because you can't water down World War Hulk.
Yeah, as you were just explaining that, in my head, I was thinking the closest they've got to that is, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Having the Illuminati in that regard. If they were to do something in a similar vein, then possibly. But
I want to see, like, because I'd want to see like a Wanda, where Wanda, where Wanda just basically burned through all of the Illuminati in one fell swoop. So I wonder if that's where they're going with it. Maybe that's going to be one of the projects announced in season 6, in phase 6, because then, at least then, you will have a situation where you've got established teams. Like, you've got the Avengers, you've got the Fantastic Four. Maybe by then we'll even have the X-Men. And then Hulk can literally fight through all of them, because that would be amazing, wouldn't it? Like, I mean, God, that would be so good. I want to see full giant Hulkbuster armor get ripped to shreds. I want to see, like, probably Ironheart's Hulkbuster armor this time. I want to see, like, Doctor Strange go like ultra Doctor Strange on him to try and beat him, and he just beats the hell out of him anyway. I want to see all this, and I just want to, Reed Richards try and like bend him and then just get absolutely snapped in half. Like this, it's great. For those of you who haven't read World War Hulk, go and read World War Hulk. It's amazing.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a must read.
Anyway, back to She-Hulk. Sorry, we went off on a big old tangent then. So yeah, after this whole thing, we had some nice little feminism thing where a lady just hanging around can be creeped on by guys. Guys, don't do it. If a lady says she's fine, leave her alone. Seriously. And then the realization is that Jennifer Walters does not need to realize who she is, because it's just her in there. There is no Hulk other. She can control her change at will, seemingly, and has almost total control over it, which really annoys Bruce Banner. Really annoys me, man. I did like how petty he was. Kind of like it went back to the old Thor days when him and Thor would have those like petty fights. I liked that a lot, where he like pushed her off the cliff and then she gives him the middle finger on the way down. I thought that was good. I like that.
Yeah.
And then she just leaves and she just goes back and becomes a lawyer again, like instantly. It's like nothing ever happened. Until, and this was the bit that I didn't really get or I didn't really understand, was at the end of the episode, she's in the courtroom and Titania turns up just randomly, bursts through a wall, absolutely random, no rhyme nor reason to it. And then Jen Walters beats her in like 2 punches.
Yeah.
And it's like, isn't Titania supposed to be the big bad of this series?
But there's that action sequence has a lot of cutaways as well. It's not like you only see the after effects of it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
A couple of things I just want to touch on quickly. I thought their on-screen chemistry, as in Jennifer Walters and Bruce Banner, was believable. Like I thought it was really, really great.
Yeah.
Really charming.
I like the playground fights they almost have, with each other because they're cousins. Obviously, they're related. So it was good.
I like the whole running joke about Steve Rogers.
Yes. Which
I guess we'll touch on in a moment. The other sort of inside joke about the Cheetos and chopsticks, which is a nice sort of nod and wink to Oscar Isaac and his weird behavior with Cheetos.
Yep. Yeah.
In a lot of ways, it reminded me, and I kind of speculated this on the podcast before, it reminded me of Ally McBeal, where the court stuff is the backseat and it's all sort of comedy, similar to The Office or, especially the fourth wall breaking and things of that nature. I like the comedy and stuff. It's it's just interesting, like the way that they've portrayed Hulk to me more than anything. I really like Jennifer. I am interested to see where they go with the rest of the season, but I feel like if this is going to be a comedy series, then the next move, I imagine, is that she's going to be a lawyer, but for villains and heroes alike.
Right.
But in a jokey way, if you know what I mean. Like,
okay. I was thinking with it, I was thinking that I think Titania might be a huge red herring the whole way through, and I don't think she's the actual villain of the piece at all.
Because we've got Abomination in this, haven't we?
That's what I was thinking. I think Abomination's going to be the real bad guy in this.
Yeah.
I think because we're Emil Blonsky's going to be like in the next episode. So, I mean, I assume. Hang on. Did I tune out then and go completely off course with you on that?
No.
Okay, sorry. I thought for a minute I was like, wait, was he just talking about lawyery stuff and I've just gone off the villains? Wait, hang on. I've completely lost my mind then. Sorry. My mind went totally blank. I'm sorry.
No, it's no problem. No, I was just saying like how I think she will be, of course, a lawyer and for heroes and villains alike, but in a jokey way, if you know what I mean. Instead of a serious courtroom drama, it's going to be like, I'm trying to think of a joke villain now. A Condiment King, or something.
Stillman,
perfect. Yeah. Even though I know Condiment King is DC, but trying to think of a Kite Man equivalent sort of level.
Get it right, yeah. Jesus, come on, honestly.
Yeah, I know.
So Zane, do you want me to go through some of the Easter eggs in this? I've got. This is courtesy of BuzzFeed. Some of them we have talked about already, but I will go through them. So just to run down the list, when Jen is practicing her closing argument in her office, you can spot some fun items behind her. You can see her diplomas from the University of California and her bookshelf, including a UCLA mug, a bobblehead of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, I did notice that, and a book about badass women, and a mug that says "See you later, litigator." Moving on, Nikki mentions that Jen has a savage look that she could use in the courtroom. It's a nod to the first Marvel She-Hulk comic for the 1980s, which was actually titled The Savage She-Hulk. right from the start. Oh yeah, this is something we should talk about. Right from the start, She-Hulk establishes that it's going to have a Jen break the fourth wall moment. In the comics, Jennifer Walters also breaks the fourth wall to talk directly to the audience. The only other person who does that is Deadpool in the comics and in films, from what I can gather. Did you think that worked? How did you think that was? Did you think it was too on the nose, her talking to the audience, or because now it's not going to be something that Deadpool does, especially, you know?
No, because as I say, I think it's kind of, it's not too direct, like how Deadpool talks about Hugh Jackman and such.
Mm-hmm.
This fourth wall breaking is kind of like I said, similar to like The Office or
Fair enough, yeah.
You know, something of that vein.
Yeah, it did feel very off. Actually, you're right. It did feel very like mockumentary style kind of thing. So yeah, you are right. It did feel like that. The weird device we've talked about that he's wearing in Shang-Chi as well. He is wearing that device in Shang-Chi.
Oh.
The Sakaran spaceship. So that could actually be how this links into World War Hulk in the future. So if the Sakaran people are looking for him, then maybe he's going to go back, or maybe there's a cabal of heroes that put him on a ship back without his say-so.
I see.
Could be. The blood transfusion we talked about.
Just quickly on that, do you think, because we've said Paramount, Universal Pictures?
It's Paramount who has the... I think it's Paramount who has
the
solo Hulk thing. I think it is. I'll double check in a sec.
Do you think they could come to agreement? Like some sort of Sony deal?
Apparently, the rumor is that they're going to get the licensing back very soon. There's been conversations apparently that they're going to get the Hulk solo licensing back. Yeah, apparently so. So those conversations are actually going on as we speak. So yeah. So yeah, we talked about the blood transfusions. When Jen enters the bar after transforming into She-Hulk for the first time, you can spot a QR code on the wall next to her. That QR code takes you to a free digital copy of the Savage She-Hulk issue number 1 from 1980. This was a good one that I didn't notice. After Jen wakes up at Bruce's place, she puts on a Led Zeppelin t-shirt. We later find out that this hideout was once Tony Stark's house. So the idea that he always wears like Black Sabbath shirts, or in Thor Ragnarok, Bruce Banner is wearing like basically a band shirt from Tony in that in that series as well. It's just a nice little like thing. Whilst we're also in that place, we also see the Age of Ultron Iron Legion skull helmet is in there. That she touches. Obviously a stark reminder of the mistakes he made. Smart Hulk, he refers to himself as Smart Hulk, which we've talked about because that was something that was coined in the comic books. He also talks about the fact that he spent in Endgame, he says that Bruce says he spent 18 months in a gamma lab, put the brains and brawn together, and now look at me, best of both worlds. And then obviously this is where he integrated himself into the Hulk banner.
Right.
Let's see. Oh, this one is super interesting. Let the theories run riot. So we already know that Miss Marvel is a mutant.
Mm-hmm.
So Bruce shows Jen a readout and says, Bruce mentions how he and Jen share a rare combination of genetic factors that allow them to synthesize gamma radiation into the Hulk gene. The rare gene in the Marvel show that is potential to say that both Jen and Bruce might be some form of mutants now that they've broken that banding, to say that there's rare genes in their body. It's quite similar to how they introduced Ms. Marvel's Kamala Khan to say that she had this rare gene inside her.
Yeah.
Maybe they're going to be mutants. Maybe they're going to be mutants. Yeah, just that they made a nice comment about Pixar movies and Big Bog's death in Inside Out.
Yeah.
When Jen asked Bruce how he would transform back into Bruce from the Hulk, he mentions 2 ways that we see in Avengers Age of Ultron. Tony beating him up versus Natasha singing to him. Bruce even jokes that Natasha's lullaby was odd, which is something fans have called out too. Let's see. When Hulk and Jen argue after she announces she wants to go home, they both use the thunderclap on each other. It's the first time that we've seen the Hulk use this move since the actual Incredible Hulk in 2008.
Yes.
I got such a nerd on when he used the thunderclap. I was adoring it.
That reminds me as well. Their argument just before the fight, I thought was really well scripted. You know, the way that she talks
Yes.
about how he's a loner and such, and like, I thought that was a really, really good argument, sort of thing.
Yeah, no, it was. It was really well done. During the closing credits, you can spot a drawing of Jen surrounded by case files, one of which has the Shield logo on it. So that's in the animated endings.
Yeah.
There's a Shield file that's on her desk in the animated endings. And then the last thing that they talk about, the last thing they talk about is we finally get the reveal of how Steve Rogers lost his virginity, and who he lost it to. So he lost his virginity to a girl in 1943 on the USO tour. We think we know who that girl is as well. By the way, they've done theories because she is what's the actress's name? There's a girl that basically comes up to him whilst he's doing his Captain America insurance tour. This blonde lady. She's now a famous actress, and I can't remember who she is. She's been in other stuff since then. But yeah, that's the girl. That's the girl who did America's ass.
So the theory going around that as well is that it's Peter Quill's grandmother, because the actress also played as Peter Quill's mum in Guardians.
Is it the same lady?
It's the same actress. She played both roles.
Oh,
but
cool.
The fan theory is that
who is she? She's super famous now. Guardians of the Galaxy. That's going to drive me nuts. Keep talking, mate. I am. Keep going.
So yeah, the fan theory is like, instead of it being a case of, you know, casting someone twice in the same franchise, the fans and the community have kind of come up with this answer that maybe it's Peter Quill's grandmother.
So he's So he's a descendant of Captain America.
Oh, he could be.
It is Laura Haddock, who I know her most from, Guardians. You're right, but also from the In-Betweeners movie.
Oh right,
she's Will's love interest in the In-Betweeners movie.
I've never watched In-Betweeners.
You're missing out, my friend.
I don't know. I tried to watch it and I was just like, this isn't for me.
The In-Betweeners was my entire A-level experience. If you want to know what the A-levels were like for me, I'm a combination of Jay. Like this, to anyone who knows me, I'm a combination of Jay and Simon from the In-Betweeners. Those are the two characters I am. I know it will mean nothing to you, but like, yeah, I will give you that Jay is just the most disgusting man-child you'll ever see in your life.
Okay.
And Simon is like the lovelorn, hopeless romantic in it. And that's the perfect combination of me, those two characters. So there you go. There you go. Welcome to my world, everyone. But yeah, anyway, so She-Hulk, I'd be interested to see where the series goes. I'm not super on board with it right now, I have to be honest with you. It's got a lot of work to do to make me go like, this is amazing, like Moon Knight, or this is amazing, like Miss Marvel. It's not hitting it for me right now. So I'm hoping the introduction of Abomination will really hit home, and I'll be like loving it from here on in. I think it's a bad sign when every episode needs to have recurring characters from previous
cameos. Ahoy.
Yeah, cameos ahoy, everyone. You know, and the fact that we're going to have, obviously, I would guess the end of the series is her going to be going legally after Kingpin, and probably having a run-in with Matt Murdock as well as fellow lawyers. You know, maybe she's prosecuting and he's defending or something like that. That's the only thing I can think of. But yeah, the fact that they have to do that to pique the interest in the show.
I saw another tweet that kind of made me a little sad, but I want to say the tweet was something along the lines of, we didn't know how to write court stuff, so we tried to skirt past it as much as possible. and it's just kind of like, oh,
Don't make it into a court drama then. Yeah, that's not the best idea in the world, is it?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I mean, give it a go, guys. Give the first episode a go. I'd always say, watch the first episode, see how you feel. But yeah, not really feeling it yet. But we'll see. Who knows? Things could change.
Yeah.
Cool.
Like Take That said, everything changes but you.
I think Take That need to say to me, have a little patience right now. That's all I'm going to say with that. Guys, if you saw She-Hulk, what did you think of it? Are there any kind of Hulky vibes? Do you want to see Red Hulk? Do you want to see the Gamma Squad turn up in She-Hulk? Let us know. Samson, yeah. Oh, yeah, that'd be a good one. Yeah, Rick Jones turn up. That's what we want to see. A-Bomb. Let us know. How can they get in touch with you, Zane? Or us, even?
Well, if you want to email the podcast, you can. nerdsundisputed@gmail.com. Let us know what you think. Of course, you can drop a comment in the section down below. If you're listening to this on your favorite podcast platform, give us a star rating, pop a comment. We'll happily read it on the show. And yeah, of course, you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, our Facebook page, Undisputed and at Undisputed_Nerds.
Yes, it's all coming. You can find me on the gram at Gentlemanly Gamer. I'm also on Twitch every Tuesday and Thursdays, twitch.tv/Gentlemanly Gamer. Still going through Guardians, still loving it. It's incredible. Yeah, I can't say anything because I'm quite deep into the story, so I don't want to give spoilers. But yeah, it's awesome. I've just unlocked Rocket's ability to use every gun in his arsenal all at once, and it's fantastic.
I've heard some streamers having problems because of the music in it.
Why would you mention that? Don't get them looking at me. Don't get them looking at me. Yeah, some of my episodes might have been muted for DMCA breaches, but let's not talk about that.
I mean, I've heard like some people try to upload their VODs to YouTube, and YouTube's been like, no.
Yeah, I'm not doing that right now. Yeah, no, there's no way. Yeah, my first episode of it got like DMCA limited, so yeah, it's not gonna happen. Anyway. I've no idea what we're talking about next week. What are we going to come up with next week, Zane?
I'll have a think. But in the meantime, you can check out Undisputed Anime, a podcast where we like to talk about anime, mangas. And this week we'll be talking about the new Dragon Ball Z movie, or Dragon Ball Super, I should say. Superhero.
Sorry, I fell asleep halfway through that. Yeah, go check out Undisputed Anime. They're great. That's all I got to say. I was supposed to be on it, but Zane didn't want me on it, and
I hadn't watched what you had watched.
he basically told me that he wants to keep me as far away from his Undisputed Anime partner as possible, so that we don't rebel and go and form our own podcast.
Are we going to talk about the collision that happened this week?
No. We'll talk about. I'll tell you what. For those guys who want that story, go and check out our bonus episode, Tips and Bits, which will be exclusive to YouTube. You can find it on YouTube, and I'll tell the story on there. And we'll also go through this week's hottest tips and bits. So yeah, come check us out on there if you want to hear that story. There's the hook. Other than that, I guess we'll see you next week, won't we, Zane?
We'll see them next week.
Thanks very much, guys. See you next week. Bye.
Bye-bye.